Hello everybody, welcome back to HK Films. I know we haven't uploaded in a while, but today we're going to start a new series in Dead by Daylight called The Basics of Killers. Today we're starting out with the most original killer, the Trapper. Let's get into it.
The Trapper's main power is bear traps. He can set down a bear trap anywhere on the map, and survivors can step on it.
Notify the killer where they stepped in it. Alright, I'll stay out of the
So now
way.
you found the
actually.
perfect spot to place down a trap. Great. You place down your trap, and now your trap is set. What if you want to put somewhere else? Put a trap somewhere else. Don't worry. There are traps scattered across the map. They're highlighted red, so they should be easy to find. You shall be able to go over to them and pick them up. They'll usually be closed, unless you're using one of the Elcher add-ons. And you can use that and set it wherever you please. There are traps scattered everywhere around the map, and they're all for you to come pick up. Unless you can only carry around one trap. Without add-ons, you can only carry around one trap. But with add-ons, something like the Trapper Bag, Stitched Bag, or Trapper Sack or whatever, you can carry more than one. One of the survivor's greatest counters against killers is pallets. Knowing this, you might say, I would like to trap right here, and it would be a good trap spot, but survivors can throw down pallets and vault it. So, where else would you put a trap? A good place to put a trap would be right here. As you can see, the survivor cannot throw down the pallet and vault it, and he's forced to either walk through it, don't walk through it at all, and that pallet's basically unusable until that trap's been disarmed. Because if they throw down the pallet and vault it, they'll land on the trap. And if they go the other way, they can't even vault it because the trap's in the way. Here's a loop demonstration. The survivor is forced to not use the pallet, or if they decide to go this way, they're basically screwed to either take a smack from you or face their fears and go into the trap. So great, it would seem like this is the best spot to put your trap, right? Not exactly. So you see, even though this completely denies the survivor the pallet, it still is out in the open, and the survivor can clearly see it. So they will probably just not use the loop at all, and they will forget about this pallet. So, but you cannot be ever at once. And this trap is out in the open, so other survivors can see it. So you're off doing your own things, like kicking a generator. And another survivor disarming. Now let's go over some smarter trapping spots. Find a spot around the loop that has tall grass in it, and place your trap right in it. This spot is a great spot since it's pretty small and your trap was hidden in the grass. So, you're chasing a survivor and he decides to loop you. He will get caught in the trap because he can't see the trap. And it's because it's hidden in the tall grass. Another good place to put your traps is in front of survivor vault windows. Here's a loop demonstration. Survivor vaults the window, and he gets in the trap. And there's absolutely nothing he can do to disarm the trap, because he vaults and walks right into it. One of the more famous trapping spots is the Killer Shack window. Now, the Killer Shack is a really good looping spot for the survivor, and also a good trapping spot, as I was about to say. And survivor would like to, and as a survivor, you want to vault the window as many times as you can before throwing down the pallet. So a good place to spot the trap as the trapper is the spot in front of the window at the Killer Shack. Here's a loop demonstration.
So,
although this trapping spot is good, a lot of survivors know about this trapping spot, and they'll often come here to check if there's a trap here, and they will come and they will disarm it. And a lot of survivors will expect you to trap there, so many experienced survivors will just not vault the window, because there might be a trap there. But this is also a good way to force down the Killer Shack pallet. So another place to put the trap is the same thing we talked about earlier about looping. Put it somewhere else around the Killer Shack, somewhere that the survivor will not expect while running around. Experienced survivors like to run around the Killer Shack, and if you put it right there, it's almost impossible to see, and they will not expect it to be there. So they would come around here, and then run all the way here while you're chasing them, and step in that. Now for the Trapper's 3 teachable perks. Perk number 1, Brutal Strength. This perk allows you to kick generators, break pallets 10% faster at level 1, 15% faster at level 2, and 20% faster at level 3. And my buddy here will throw down the pallet. Here's the speed without brutal strength. Here's the speed with brutal strength level 3. Much faster, allowing you to counter one of Survivor's greatest counters against Killer a bit better. After the Trapper's 2nd teachable perk, Unnerving Presence. This allows you to make Survivor skill checks harder while you're in their in your terror radius. Here's my friend's point of view.
Alright. So here's the survivor's point of view. So as you can see, when the killer starts coming closer to me, there will be a red diamond in the bottom right corner displaying Unnerving Presence. As you can see, there's like a guy with his hands on his head, and this will let you know that the skill checks are now a little bit harder. So as you can see, now that I'm working on a generator, you'll notice once I get a skill check. Okay, so as you can see, the skill check is really small, and you can see those 2 indicators above repair. One of them is skill check probability, so now I will get skill checks more frequently than normal, and there's a skill check difficulty, which is the one next to that. So as you can see, it's really small, and I managed to miss that skill check there. And this also affects you when you're doing healing or anytime you'll get a skill check.
Now for the Trapper's 3rd teachable perk, Agitation. This perk basically allows you to transport survivors on your shoulder much faster than you normally would, so you get much greater distance to get hooks that are farther away while the survivor's wiggling. Here's the speed without agitation. 1. The speed with agitation.
Alright, now we're on to the things that you can use to counter the Trapper. First thing is the item. We'll use a regular map or a rainbow map. There is an add-on that allows you to see the Trapper's traps, but a rainbow map will always reveal. So, you read the map, and as you can see, that little orange thing on the ground is a trap, and it's good to spot out traps before you step on them, especially when you're running through loops. Now, there's also perks I'm using that help me counter the Trapper's traps. The first one is Saboteur, and we'll do a demonstration of that right now. Okay, now for Saboteur's demonstration. So, when you see a trap, you disarm it. It's disarmed. Now it gives you the option to sabotage it with Saboteur. So basically, when I sabotage the trap, it will make it so the killer cannot use it for a short amount of time, and then after a while it will repair itself. And then we'll skip ahead to when it actually gets sabotaged. And as you can see, the trap is now broken. Now we'll move on to small game. Now on to small game. Small game, basically, if I'm stepping near any totem or trap, the perk will light up. You might have seen it a few times before. So as you can see, if I walk up to this trap from a certain range, you see how it has a little red thing? That's a cooldown. So it'll let me know that the trap is there, so that way I make sure I don't step in it, and it'll keep going off until I do something about it or I go away from it. Now on to Dead Hard. What Dead Hard does is basically, when you activate it while you're injured and you're sprinting, you dash forward and you're invincible for a few seconds. This is good for if you're looping the killer and the killer trapped the pallet. Basically, you're pretty much fine, and the killer now has to go around that because if he steps in his own trap, he gets stunned. So we'll do a demonstration of that right now. So Camera will chase me around this pallet, around this loop. I dead hard over the pallet, and then he can step in it too. And then he'll reset it. And there's another perk that you can use called Slippery Meat. Now what that perk does is, I'll just give you a quick rundown since I'm not running it right now. Slippery Meat gives you a better percentage to get off hooks, and it also gives you a higher percentage to get out of traps faster, so you can get out of the trap before the killer can catch you. And those are the counters for the survivor from the killer. If you don't have dead hard to your use, another skill to use is, if the trapper has enough good distance on you to borrow you some time, and the trap is directly under the pallet like shown here, what you can do is you can throw down the pallet ahead of time, and then you can vault over it, and the killer won't be able, and then the killer will break it and all that. But it does save you, and it's very situational. It's not always going to be right under the pallet. This is a good tip for Trapper, by the way. You don't always put it directly under traps, because survivors can do that.
Now, Trapper, there's other ways to play him. Well, not really, but there's add-ons, which help you kill the survivors, or gain points, for that matter. So, for the first ones are the most common add-ons, and the ones you'd probably be getting the most. The brown add-ons, they're common. The Trapper Sack lets you carry around one more trap, so you can carry around 2 traps, and it gives you 1 extra trap to start the trap. Trapper Gloves, which slightly increases the bear trap setting speed, so you can set bear traps a bit faster. The Strong Coil. This basically means that survivors take a little bit longer to disarm your trap or to break it. The Padded Jaws. This one makes it your traps don't hurt survivors if they get out, but instead you will gain more points, which is what you're playing for, and it'll give you for that. And Trapper Bag. This is basically just a better version of the Trapper Sack. It gives you the same thing, hold 2 traps, except for this one it gives you 2 extra bear traps. So you start the trial with 2 extra bear traps, so you can hold basically like 3 traps, I'm not sure, 2 or 3. Trap setters. These basically make you set traps a lot faster, and you can set them, this means set faster. Serrated Jaws. This causes hemorrhage effect. Hemorrhage basically means that survivor bleeds faster. So whenever you see injured survivors running and leaving behind trails of blood, this just makes the trails of blood more frequent. The Logwood Dye. This basically makes your trap darker, and I'll show you after the add-ons how dark these can get. The 4 Coil Spring Kit. This is basically the same thing as the Strong Coil, except it does its job better, and it makes it take even longer. Wax Brick. Survivors can struggle out of traps, but this will make it a lot harder and a lot lower chance for them to struggle out of the trap. Tar Bottle. This is another one of the dyes. I'll show you after the add-ons what they look like. Setting Tools. This one's basically the add-on that'll make you set your bear traps down the fastest. They will make you set your bear traps down really fast, and you can place them anywhere you want. And also, it makes it take longer to escape the bear traps with this one. Secondary Coil. Basically another one of the coils. It takes a lot longer to disarm the trap. It takes a lot longer to break it. Rusted Jaws. This puts the survivors in the mangled effect when they step in the trap. This basically means that the survivor will take longer to heal. Stitched Bag. This is basically a better version of the Trapper Bag, or the best version of the Trapper Bag with the Trapper Sack. You can carry around 3 bear traps, and you can start off the map with start the trial with 2 extra bear traps. This one I think you can also carry 3 bear traps, but this one you only start with 1 extra. This one lets you start with 2. The Oily Coil. This one's the best of the spring add-ons. This basically means that it takes them a lot longer to disarm your traps, or to break them. The Honing Stone. Whenever a survivor escapes your traps, they'll be put in the injured state, but with this on, they'll immediately go into the dying state. So you can go to there and make sure the survivors are down, so it'll be even more of a punishment for setting your trap. fastening tools. Actually, this one's way better than the setting tools. This one basically makes it so fast, like almost instant. Well, not almost instant, but like very fast, and it makes it take a lot longer to escape your trap, and a lot lower chances to escaping. Combine this with the wax brick, and it takes a lot of tries to get out of your trap. The iridescent stone. Every 30 seconds, a random bear trap on the map becomes set by itself. It just sets itself. That's pretty self-explanatory. The bloody coil. This could be like every other coil. This sounds like every other, but this one means if the survivor disarms your trap, it'll injure them. And it also takes it a little bit slower to instead of disarming them or to break them. Every time sabotage or disarmed. And that's all the traps out of it. Here's with no die, with the yellow uncommon die, and the trap with the green tar bottle die.
And now to
finish it all off, Trapper's Mori.
That was in the grass, but